Greetings, dear, beautiful, magnificent spirit soul that you are. Even though these words are not you, because words are always limiting, because they're made of sounds and letters, and those letters have numbers, and the numbers have meanings, and the letters together make a word, and you take the word W-O-R, and add an L and a D, and then you got world, you see. And then this is our planet, the way we plan it. You see, and it's, see, when you people say, well, you're always into the words. Well, you're using words all the time, and we're using those words to express ourselves. Yet words can never express ourselves, because we're beyond any kind of matter, any kind of materialism. All right. Now, my topic is stepping into your magnificent future. Stepping into your magnificent future. Now, I know there is no future or past, because it's in the mind. These are concepts. And all that we have or know is now. This is us being fully now. This is the power right now. And people are always worried about their future, but since future and past loop, people are creating futures from the past, and their past from, and doing the past what they want to be doing in the future. But it keeps looping. So you have to go above the infinity sign, or the 8 on the side, or the and sign. These are all very similar things. And you up to the level of the bliss. That's what my book Live Your Bliss is about. It's not follow your bliss. You are bliss. Bliss is your nature. And it's essential that you are in that state of bliss. Not somebody can give it to you. It's not something you get when you get all kinds of, it's your natural state when you're not thinking, because you're knowing. So we could take that is to the level of knowing. And what we want to do is to step into our magnificent future, is to start fresh in every moment. Now, whether it's New Year's, whether it's your appearance day, because I don't call it birthday, because you're never born, never die. You appear, and then one day you disappear. But you're eternal. And you want to make sure that you know what you're actually speaking into, and your spelling, which is spell casting for a sentence with a period of time. So this is the way this place operates. You got to know how it operates. And most people, they don't know how it operates. And so they're like in a ship that's just bumping into rocks, trying to get somewhere, and the waves are taking them down, and people are just, because the knowledge hasn't been given to people about who they are. And when you have that, you don't worry about your future, because you start doing it now. And one of the things we want to do as we're moving into that each moment is that you take some meditation time, and get some time maybe to be in nature. Give yourself that gift. Whenever there's a New Year's, I always like on New Year's Day, or maybe even the eve before, I start bringing into my experience whatever I would like to be having more of in my life, more, and I am life, for what I want to be focusing more upon. And then you have a little bit of that. So you do like a day, like a ceremony. You might call it, some people call it a ritual, or how you could, but a ceremony, so that you yourself are saying, hey, this is my life to live as I choose. And I'd like you to put your hand on your heart and say, this is my life to live as I choose, you see. And I am life. And we have to go, see, you have to know that when we say life, people think it's out there. They say, well, how's life treating you? Or how's your day? Well, that to me is meaningless, because I don't care about it. Whatever the days, D-A-Z-E is, the day, it's very similar. It makes people confused, and they're walking about completely confused and deluded by all the veils of ignorance, you see. And those veils of ignorance make everything out there matter. Oh, what's wrong? What's going on? How are you doing? Or what are you worth? And what did you blah, 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 blah. So you got to learn how to control your mind. And it's a simple process, but and I'm so glad, because it absolutely has transformed my entire experience of myself and all. And when you start, you can start fresh in every moment. And even in now, if your mind starts going the place you don't want it to go, just stop it. Say, stop, I'm not going there. Why? Because if you then focus on it, most people, their mind is their toy. That's their friend. That's their companion. Who are you talking to? Well, you're talking to yourself. Not really. That isn't you. You have to know you have a mind, but you're not a mind. And you have a physical body, but you're not a physical body. And you have a divine spiritual body. But it's dormant. Because by ignoring who we are, we give our power to the manifestation, to the creation, to the past, to the future, and all of this, and postponing everything, waiting until something happens. And most people, they're just waiting for the other shoe to drop or something big. Something big happens in every moment when you realize who you are. That's the big moment. And everybody says, something gonna come and gonna get me, do this or that. And it keeps everybody running around like crazy people. And then so terrorized that in the moment, they're always looking at how to prevent future failure, future misery, future lack, future loss. And if you're always focusing on that, then what happens is you're draining your life force because your oxygen's going to the brain rather than to yourself. And instead of being and doing what really calls to you as to who you are and the work that you choose to be doing for the welfare of all, we're caught up in that, and then the person gets caught and they drive to work planning their escape, and they look in their checkbook and they can't afford it, you see. So it's that kind of a thing. So you have to start weaning yourself if need be, but let's start fresh. Let's bring everything into our consciousness that we say, this is what I would like to bring forth from myself. This is what I desire to experience in my own nature, my own, when people say, I want to really go deep into, most people, they don't want to do the work to go deep. But in the depth of your being, in this heart and the soul, is the paradise and the pleasure you have always been seeking. And if you want pleasure, happiness of the soul in the future, you have to have it now. And so that's what you do. Bring everything right into the now. Start fresh. Let whatever that go, and make a ceremony for yourself of what you'd like to bring into to bring forth from yourself. And don't tell anybody. Don't ask anybody's permission. Don't share it with somebody else that can tell you you're stupid, you're ignorant, you're crazy, and you don't know what's going on. Really? See? And then all of a sudden, then you give it up. Okay. So you have to do that, and you have to be strong in yourself, because this is the greatest work in the world. If there's any way I could serve you, I do counseling. I love that. I don't do coaching. I know people do that. But it's like, to me, life is not a game about winners and losers in that kind of a world. I work on an organic level, and I work the mystic path, because to me, that is our natural path, and that is the path of our greatest opportunities and our greatest joy and fulfillment and satisfaction and the abundance of whatever we need. So it's really, really important right now, and to really let go of all that stuff going out there in the world, and really give yourself at least a couple of days, even a day or a few hours, whatever, to really center and meditate and tell the truth about yourself. And then when you do that, and you start being there now, and in my book, Live Your Bliss, is excellent. You can get that off of, however you order books and such like that. Live Your Bliss, and it's a great, and I even ask when people come to retreats, I really would like them to read that. Then, of course, I have What You Think of Me Is None of My Business. Excellent book. The Inner Path from Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. Excellent. How to Have More in a Have Not World was a New York Times #1 bestseller. Love and Power in a World Without Limits, A Woman's Guide to the Goddess Within. Wonderful. I had many people teaching that class. And then Dare to Be Great, which was called Every Saint Has a Past, Every Sinner a Future. A lot of people didn't like that, but I like that. And Dare to Be Great. And then also Live Your Bliss. So each of these has valuable knowledge. And so the most valuable knowledge is the knowledge that you get that you realize how this operates in the outer world. You realize and know who you are, and you claim who you are. And by claiming that, you start activating all of these latent powers and abilities and talents that, and to do that, you also have to keep your own counsel. So often, or be very conscious and careful about who you share with, because you want to protect that precious heart of yours and who you are. And that's most important. So, how to have a magnificent stepping into your future? Be there now. You know what? Michael, the videographer, was supposed to come back, see, but he's behind that tree over there taking movies. And he didn't know that I'm finished. So I guess I have to say something else. You know what it really is? The real key is, are you willing to be all that you really are? Or are you just going to settle for the character, the caricature, the beliefs, the thoughts, the words, your past experience, all of that to just confine, to define you, to confine and fine, limit you? Or do you really want to know and be the fullness of who you are in the greatness of the divine? Really? And oftentimes all it takes is just to know. In fact, I'm a spiritual mind healer. That's one of my jobs, in a sense, practitioner. And the key of a spiritual mind healer, miracles have happened from that. Really, because a miracle is natural. And when you know the truth about someone, you don't believe their troubles. You don't believe their problems. You don't start going into agreement with them of how bad it is. Not at all. Because then you're agreeing and taking them down as well as yourself, because you're limiting them and you. Not that you don't have compassion and caring. It's not about that. But you want to give people the tools. And when you have those tools and you're using them to really bring forth all who you are. See, my work is always about the divine experiment. And when I did my ministry in La Jolla, California, and the pastor of the church there, and then the international television ministry in the 80s and all of this, it's always a divine experiment to find out what can we attain in a win-win reality, where there are no losers. There's no success or failure in that sense. There's divine beings having full knowledge and wisdom of who they are and all that they need to know and be. This is who we are. That's the divine experiment. And grab that for yourself. It isn't how many of this you can have and how many of that you can have and how many awards you're going to get and how many of this. No. You see, it's interesting. My daughter, Suzanne, when she passed, and the body was beautiful ceremony, cremated and all that. Well, I still have those ashes in a special place on my porch with a little garden. And to also, one of the things is to remember that what can be burned up in that sense isn't you. That's just stuff. Who you are is eternal. Do it now. You can't wait. You can't start another day. No. It's right now. And sometimes that's just getting alone with yourself without electronics and without noise and without technology. Tune in. Because when you start listening, even the wind, it's music, you see. Get to be with yourself. You are the pleasure of God, of the divine. Yeah. I've done 2-3 talks because you were standing behind a tree. So I had finished, and then you're videoing. So then I told everybody
Oh, cool.
about